Hello and welcome to the Cheltenham Exchange, into the first of our 2025 Ante Post series, but with a twist this time. We're going to do a discussion series rather than the normal selections that we have done in the past. As you can see, we've got the likely lads, we've got Alex and Johnny, and then, I can't believe it, he's back. Matty's back. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
No, we're good. We're glad to have you back. Everyone's been asking where you've been.
Yeah, don't know why. Just been busy, mate. Got no interest at the moment this year, so hopefully get it back now as we get closer.
No, we will, mate. We'll get you back into it. So what we're going to do, we're going to share the screen. This is the odds checker screen, and we're going to go through. There's about 13 Grade 1 races, so maybe some of the races that we're not too sure, not too happy about, we'll skip or just not do too much on. And then we'll just have a discussion what we think the value is and maybe not the value is for the coming races. So we're going to start with the Supreme, as we had the Moscow Flyer yesterday. And the talk, of course, was Salvatore Monday. Let's have a look. Best price, I think, is 130 with Bet365. Anybody watch the race yesterday with Salvatore Monday? Was they impressed? Do they think he's a good price?
Yeah, I saw the race, Ian, and I'll be honest, considering it was his third run over hurdles, I was really put off him. I can't believe the price has gone in. As I say, considering it was his third run over hurdles, you'd expect him to be a lot slicker and a lot more professional, and he just still looked really novice and really green. I mean, his first run over hurdles was over a year ago now, so, I mean, has he really learned that much? I just feel like something's going to be better than him. And yeah, I was very put off by that performance yesterday, personally.
Well, I think he had a tongue tie as well, didn't he? And I only found out this morning, apparently, I know they don't have to declare it in Ireland, but he had a wind up before the race, but still wore everything. And you could see he wasn't maybe not struggling, but wasn't happy with what he had, and maybe that affected his performance. I know he won, and he won. Going off, he was at 3 lengths. He won by beat. I mean,
he might be the one that wins, but I mean, at that price, I'd be more than happy to let him win and go do that. I mean, 7-2 as an anti-post price for a horse like that, considering we haven't even had the Grade 1 at the DRF, which is normally the big pointer for the best Irish one. That really wouldn't interest me whatsoever.
Anybody else got any horses they think could be hidden or at bigger prices in the Supreme?
Just going back on Monday there, I thought, he didn't jump the best, but he got the job done, didn't he? The further he went, the better he was, and he just looks like he's got a huge engine. The way he pulled away at the end, I thought was really impressive. But he will need to brush up his jumping in a quick run Supreme. But maybe a faster run race will help that, and also a bit better ground, because it looked they reckon it was quite tacky there yesterday, didn't they? Which could have affected his jumping a little bit. But I mean, I think he's worthy favourite, but he is probably a couple of points too short, really. Maybe he should be 5s or 6s at this stage. But if you look down the list, there's nothing else that really is jumping out at me at the moment. Like Copec de Boards, I fancy that'll go up in trip to the Turners, as it's called now. Romeo Coolio, I don't know really, because he's put in a couple of good performances and one not so good. But I do like him, but I'd probably like to see him again. A lot of the others, like the New Lion, probably go up in trip as well, won't he? Or he'll be the 2.5 race again. But yeah, there's not too much really that's caught my eye down the list yet, Ian, to be honest.
Yeah. Matty, anything caught your eye?
Just going back, obviously, I know the lads have just talked about Monday, and I've said I've not shown any interest, and I've not watched a lot of racing with being busy lately. I know he's come back off a break, but just noticed Monday's win. Was it yesterday? Yeah. It was a lower RPR than when he ran in May. And I don't know, obviously we won't know the strength of the race just yet until obviously further down the line. He's 4-1 at the moment on odds checker. You're not going to be backing him, are you? But this horse, with everything, obviously Willie Mullins fact and everything else as well, because they said he's going to go straight there, hasn't he? To the Supreme.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, this horse is going to go off shorter on the day, isn't he? He's not for me. I'm a fan of Romeo Coolio. I was after the bumper last year. I haven't had a bet on him at any bigger prices, and he's 7-1 now. Again, it'll depend on how he runs at DRF in a few weeks' time. The one I'd be willing and probably will take a punt on Ante Post, and that'll be before the run at DRF if he's declared, and that's that You Ought to Know. One of the Willie Mullins is. Was it second to Jerobo? Oh, bloody Aussie horse matching.
That was the bumper winner, wasn't it?
Yeah. I know he's not run great since, but he'd done all right on his hurdles debut. I had a quick look before coming on, just so wasn't completely out. And he had an RPR 128 on his debut. You'd expect that to improve a little bit. So I'd be keen to see how he runs at DRF, and I'll probably take a punt. Probably take a punt on him if he's declared for the DRF for the Supreme, just in case he has a good run there.
That's quite a nice price. I think it's 33-1. I think I can see his best price.
Yeah, if he's declared, it'll be worth it. For me, I'll have a little bash on him on the day when we're there, and I'll have a little play for the Supreme, just because I've hardly got anything on for Cheltenham at the moment. I need to start ramping up the interest. So I do think Romeo Coolio is a very good horse.
Right. Anybody got anything else to add before I move to the Arkle?
Yeah, the one I'd be looking at, Ian, for this race is Cade Doughty. He had one run over 2 miles when he unfortunately fell, but a bit of experience from still. Then he won over 2.5 miles, and I thought that was quite impressive. And the horse who was second that day as well is worth taking out of the race as well and putting in the trackers. And then I see he's now been entered back over 2 miles at the DRF, and he's actually one of the Ante Post favourites. So you think that's the race he's going to, I mean, I think that's the only race he's been declared for as well. So you think that sort of the 2 miles is the plan, and I mean, ticks all the boxes for me at this stage. And you can get a price of 16-1 on there, and I think that's more than fair. I'd rather take not 16-1, 14-1. I'd rather take the 14s Ante Post and the 7s non-runner no bet with William Hill. So yeah, that'll be my position at the moment.
Perfect. Johnny, anything else to add before we move on?
No, that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Let's go to the Arkle, if I can find it. I'm hoping this race will be fairly quick, because I personally don't believe there's much that will go into this race apart from maybe the top 3, top 4. You got Sergino currently 11-8 on. Majbra 7-2, I believe, is due to run in the Irish Arkle at the DRF. Il Atlantique, 1 week or 2 back, I think it was. Currently 8-1. Lodestood seems to be the British hope, so to speak. Anyone got an opinion in the Arkle?
I think you've got to start, Ian, really, with a hot pot Henderson favourite.
I was very impressed with his run at I want to say it was Newbury, is it, over Christmas? No, Kempton, sorry. Beating Ballyburn, and I think that was a learning lesson for both, to be honest. To say his turn of foot I thought was superb, Sergino, and I think it just shows as much as I think they wanted Ballyburn to be a 2-miler. I think it's the only choices now is to go up and maybe go up even further to the Browns to 3 mile. Obviously with the original Turner's race coming out, the 2.5 probably would have been ideal for him, but be interesting to see what Majbra does. He was very impressive on his Chase debut. I think he needs to beat the next group in the DRF to even put a stamp on getting close to Sergino, in my opinion. But he'd be the one for me in a minute. Granted, you probably have to put him in some doubles and trebles because he's no price to back in a singular bet. But anyone else got a opinion?
I pretty much agree with everything you said there, Ian. Obviously, I was there down that way that weekend, and he was ultra impressive, wasn't he? Superb performance. At the moment, until one of the others come out and does something similar, then it's going to be hard to overturn him, isn't it? Looking at prices, I think the value possibly be on Lodestood, maybe. If you could get, I don't know if they're doing place terms yet. Are they, obviously you can do each way, but can you do place only at the moment? I'm not sure when the likes of Sky bring that in, but that might be one for your roll-ups, because he's a sort of one that I could see coming in the top 3 definitely. Because the race generally cuts up, doesn't it? And there's probably 5 or 6 runners. If they're paying 3 places and you could get him in a few Akkers, then I think that might be your play. But like you say, Sergino is just one for Akkers, really, isn't he? I can't see. There's no point putting singles on him at the moment.
Alex, Matty, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with what you guys have all said, that it pretty much looks like it should be between those top 2. To be honest, the bet I'd be looking to have after some of his comments post-1 race, funny enough, would actually be the jukebox man in that Ante Post market. Because Ben Pauling came out post-race, came out recently, maybe it was last couple of weeks, and said if the weather did turn out to be really awful and the ground came out really heavy, he would consider going for the Arkle instead. Because really, he's a sort of a 2.5 mile horse that can stay 3 miles. So that would be the only interesting bet for me. 10 to 1, a non-runner, no bet with William Hill. If he doesn't run, obviously you get your money back. And if he does run, I think the price would be shorter than 10s anyway. Yep. So to me, that would be the value bet at this stage. But the top 2 look obviously miles clear of the rest really at this. But from what we've seen. Anything to add, Matty?
No, I initially thought Masborough was going to be a 3 miler. Obviously they've come out and said I think with what you lads have said, he's going to go down the 2 mile route. Sergino should win. I do like Il Atlantico. And it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top between Masborough and him at the DRF. But yeah, Sergino, he was impressive, wasn't he? One race I did watch over the Christmas period.
Do you think Il Atlantic will need softer ground or heavier ground to have a shout in this? Because he had his condition a week or 2 back, didn't he? And would he be in the pocket and some of the others? He's still within the shout, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what the weather's going to do we?
No.
So it wouldn't be an anti-post bet. It'd be an on the day bet, ground dependent. If I was going to back him on the day and to take on Sergino, that you'd be mad to take. You'd be mad to be taking him on anti-post because the prices won't differ too much between now and then. I don't think.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone else got anything else before I move over?
Just one for Johnny. Actually, I've had a look on Sky and they haven't got place terms up yet for that specific race, but they have got to place any race. And he's a very big 10 to 11 to place anyways.
Fantastic.
What an absolute shocking price that is.
So you might as well just back Sergino then, might you? Yeah.
Yeah, shocking that.
Poor.
I'm going to move to, I think I've missed one actually. We'll go with the champion hurdle.
You've not missed anything, Ian. That's the right one.
Okay.
No.
Should we do
You've
mares?
missed the ultimate, but we're not doing that.
Champion hurdle, and then we'll do mares.
Well, that's the order they happen on race day, so or they used to.
The mares is 3:20 now.
Oh, they've changed it, haven't they? Yeah. God, sorry, my apologies.
Champion hurdle's 4:00.
Oh, fucking stupid that is.
So as we can see, the betting here for the champion hurdle, I think a lot has changed since the run at Kempton from Constitution Hill beating Lossiemouth. Who would have thought he would have been 4-5 to 1? He was at one point before Christmas, and now he's 6 to 4 on, 7 to 4 on. Ridiculous prices. Lossiemouth 4 to 1, 9 to 2 in some places. Brighter Days Ahead still 4 to 1, 5 to 1, but I believe Connections still think she'll go to the mares hurdle. And then you've got State Man and Amsterdam, 11s, 12s. Burdett Road could be a good one at 33 to 1. Anybody got much of an opinion in this race?
I'll kick you off, Ian.
Okay.
I think between sort of Constitution Hill and Lossiemouth, I would probably, at the prices, I would be happy to back Lossiemouth. Obviously, they come out and said they knew she wasn't right, and you could see from the beginning of the race that she wasn't travelling like she normally would, and she wasn't actually beating that far. 2.5, 3 lengths she was beating in the end. So I'd be happy to take a chance that at 5s versus 4 to 7 that she could turn that form around. That'll be my angle into the race. Brighter Days Ahead should go here, but it sounds like O'Leary is determined for her to go to the mares. And yeah, that would be my view at this point.
Johnny or Matty, any opinion?
Yeah, I pretty much go along with Alex there, really. I agree with that. I mean, Constitution Hill probably should win based on what we've seen the other week, but at the prices, you might as well back Lozzie each way, man. You're at that, and hopefully she turns over the form, and if not, you get your money back anyway. So, yeah. I mean, interesting to see Ansendam again. I'm not sure what his entries are, but I do like him. I don't think he's got the class to beat these two, but I think he's entered for the Irish Champion Hurdle. He's 6-1, so I mean, just interesting to see how he gets on and see what the plan is for him, because I have liked him so far. I think he's looked good. So State Man, I just don't know anymore now. I was always quite a fan of State Man, but those last two performances just showed not a lot, really.
No.
So yeah, but yeah, I'll go with what Alex said about Lossie.
Matty, have you managed to see any of this division?
I watched the race over Christmas. Lossie Mouth, what was she beaten? Just two and a half lengths, was it? And Woolies weren't running well really over Christmas, were they, to start with? So I agree with Alex at the prices. You'd be willing to probably have a bash on her because it looks like they are going to take him on again. Other than that, Brighter Days Ahead, they've come out and said, maybe she's going to the mares, is it? You lads said the other day.
Yeah.
Or one of the lads said in one of the chats. I'd probably be looking, if he, depending on how many turn up here, I wouldn't put anyone off a bet on Burdett Road in the place market if he ran his best race. Was it? You know, he's beaten 9 lengths. About 9 or 10 lengths. Let me just check. 9 lengths, was it, at Kempton? But he ran to an RPR of 155. I know he's got more improved. That's to improve a lot, but we know he can run Cheltenham well. And at a price, I'd be willing to look at him in the place market.
I think that's an excellent shout. See how he's run this season and how he's come on since last season. I think that could be an excellent shout, Matty. Anyone else got anything to add for the Champion Hurdle before we move on?
No, nothing.
Okay.
How many of them actually do you think are going to turn up on the day?
We can probably count them now.
Yeah.
6, yeah. I think what Johnny said, 6 or 7 max.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
You probably have Conhill, Lossie Mouth, State Man, Burdett Road is 4. I don't know, Anserdam maybe in a couple of 100-to-1 shots maybe to see if I can get some money somehow. But
for these festival grade ones, because they obviously do declarations like 48 hours before, if there's below a certain number of entries, they should then reopen the entries for like 24 hours for anyone else that wants to put anything in. Rather than have like a 4-runner grade 1, you might get another trainer that slings a couple in anyway.
Yeah, but then you'll get the argument of do you want the quality over quantity, because the other ones could just get in the way when you'll get people.
Well, chuck them in anyway. Like you never know.
No, I know, yeah, but
like Nigel might have a horse like Astrakhan he wants to run and just run around the back and pick up some prize money.
Astrakhan.
People like Zarek the Brave and Mystical Power. I don't know if any of these will run. Alberica Lord is 100-to-1, so I reckon probably 1 or 2, maybe favouring.
He might run.
Yeah.
Gone back over hurdles, hasn't he? What he is.
Right. So if everyone's happy, I'm going to move on to the Mares Hurdle. Here we go. Just show the betting as it is. So Brighter Days Ahead, if I can find her. There she is. 5-4, 6-4 in a minute. I'm not sure why they got Let It Rain. Betfair's got 14-5. I don't know if that's correct or not, but Lossie Mouth, 15-8, 7-2, 3-1. You can see best price. Cargisi or Cargisi seems to be back to recently. He's got a few blues here.
A lot of money's come for that over the last few days. It was 12-1 a few days ago, apparently.
And then you got July Flower. I can't say I've heard of July Flower. And Jade de Grugy, Love Envoy. I don't think she's even running, is she? I don't know why she's in the betting. But yeah, anybody got an opinion on on
Hasn't
the mare's
Lavembar
hurdle.
retired?
She went to. I was going to say she went
Yeah, I
to.
thought she had.
Yeah, I don't know why she's in. I don't know why.
There's no
Betfair
odds
put her in
on
the
it,
betting, to be honest.
Oh,
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I think she's retired.
Mm.
I don't think that let it rain thing is right either.
No. Anybody got an opinion on the mare's hurdle? Does Brighter Days Ahead just win with her performances this season?
I know what Alex is going to say. And I know Alex is going
Do
to
you
say.
know what I'm going to say, Johnny?
And I've had a bet on it today.
What do you think I'm going to say?
GM.
Oh yeah, bloody hell yeah.
I've had a bet
Right down the bottom of the betting, Gala Marceau.
Oh.
Yeah, like a lot of these horses when they're juveniles, they tend to sort of lose their way in their second season when they're like 5-year-olds in a proper open company. And she did. And she's been given like plenty of time off. I mean, her form obviously with Lossiemouth in that juvenile year was obviously very strong.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take a chance. She could be good enough after that, like after plenty of time off. And now, so what? She's now 6, isn't she? So she should be sort of bigger and stronger. And I've seen that she's also got an entry at Windsor on Friday. So they're clearly now looking to get her fit and ready to go. So yeah, I'm happy to take a chance at 66 to 1.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a great shout, Johnny.
I just see that. Funny enough, she's 8 to 1 at the minute for the race at Windsor. Is that that's the Winter Millions, isn't it? This weekend?
Yeah. Willie's got another horse in that as well, who's the favourite. So just have to see, obviously, who gets declared and who doesn't. But
Kitzbühel.
Yeah, she's very tempting to me at that price.
66 to 1.
I think it's a no-brainer at that price to have a couple of quid each way on it.
Yeah, you've talked me into it, Johnny. I backed her last year for the mare's novice, so I'll have to back her again this year.
Well, she ran in
Just
this.
Going back to what you said about mare's mare, yeah, whatever. I backed her in this last year. But yeah, going back to what you said about juveniles and Alex about Cargisi coming up.
Yeah, she could be that one that sort of disappears for a year because a lot of them do, don't they? They have their 4-year-old season, they look unbeatable, and then sort of disappear for a year, and then come back the following year.
Obviously, if Brighter Days Ahead does come here, like they're saying, then I think she'll win. But Gala Marceau at 66 to 1, like Johnny said, you'd be probably silly not to have a little small each way on that.
Mm.
All aboard, lads! All aboard!
All aboard! Anyone else got anything to add on the mare's hurdle before we move on?
No, I think that's it. That's the wide one that we've got there, definitely.
We're going to move on to Tuesday, which I believe is the former Ballymore, former Gallagher's, and now the Turner's novice.
Didn't we just start on the Tuesday, Ian?
It means a Wednesday.
Yeah, so I meant the Wednesday.
Tell him, Matty.
Yeah.
You had a part. We all have brain farts every now and again.
Fucking used to seeing.
I know. Bring back OJ.
I can't say anything. I just said Gala Marceau in the Bears novice last year. I didn't get any money back.
So we've got
as good as Ian's bet in the Arkle for John Bon.
Oh yeah.
So this is probably one of the hardest novice races, I think, or novice hurdle races in regards to form and betting, and it's so wide open. At the moment, you've got New Line 5 to 2, 9 to 4. Potter's Charm has been very impressive. 6s and 7s. The Yellow Clay, which I thought was going to go to the Bartlett, but it sounds like Gordon Elliott fancies this race instead. 7 to 1.
He'll go the Bartlett, Ian.
And then you got some of the you're going to have the usual suspects that have been in the same betting for the Supreme Ring this as well, like K-Do Free, Cobet the Boards. Final Demand, suppose, is part of Talking Horse at the moment. I think it's been well backed recently. Anyone got any opinion in the Turner's Novice Hurdle, the 2.5 race?
If just looking at the Yellow Clay there, he's been entered in that Nathaniel Lacey, hasn't he, at the DRF?
Mm.
Generally, horses go to the Bartlett, don't they not, from there?
I think it was...
You'd think.
Oh, God, now you got me thinking.
So, I
was
think
it
if you went there...
you won last year?
Yeah. I can't think off the top of my head. Should know we were there.
I know. I think as in the past, I think it's a few of the winners or a few of the horses that have placed have gone up to 3 mile.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that's the end of him at the moment going to the Turners. I still think there's a good chance he could go up in trim.
Quebec de Board seems to be well fancied recently. It seems that Willie potentially might have after Southwold Tour Monday, and depending on how the 2 mile race goes.
Dancing City, Ian won it last year.
Ah, okay.
And he went to the Bartlett, did he not?
I believe he did.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking now. And New Lion also was very impressive at Newbury.
And since been bought by JP?
Yes. So he was visually impressive, but I don't know. A lot of people were saying about how if he's beaten anything.
Well, the 3 horses behind him rated in the mid 135, so they're not terrible horses. So,
and Potter's Charm has had a very good season. Has won at Cheltenham as well. So he's got the course form. K Dufree we've mentioned. Barry the Butcher. I don't know if that's correct. It's quite
crikey. Have we ever seen him?
No, I think he's. I think he was supposed to be running some bumpers, didn't he? And just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
There's a few. If I scroll down at some of the bigger prices, Work Ahead's supposed to be one that could potentially go here or to the Supreme. I think he's the Brumhead horse. I think there's one last time out. Romeo Cooley, I don't think will go here. Then you got like Jalon de Dures and Jasmine Defar. I think we're scraping the barrel with some of these. I'm not sure if there's much else apart from the top of the market, but I'm personally struggling to find anything that's really jumped out at me. And
one I'd be tempted to have. I mean, I like Jalon de Dures, but it doesn't look like we're going to see, because obviously there's no entries apart from the Cheltenham one. There's no run this season. Very, very keen. That one had run and shown it. Just looking then, Cocktail Divin 20-1. It's got entries in all 3 of them. Yeah, it's got entries. I was going to say it's got entries in all 3, and that finished just behind the one you mentioned, Alex, didn't it?
Yeah, Kate Malfi.
Yeah, but it's similar. It's Manila Indo, in it. Manila Indo colours.
Yeah, I think it'll end up in that race that Manila Indo ran in before Chan. I mean, it's Clonmel, isn't it? That mid-February or grade 3. You'll probably end up in that because that tends to be the route that the Bromhead takes for his Bartlett types.
Yeah, so I'll probably have to make that a note of that one and keep that one on side if it goes to Bartlett.
Anyone else?
Just disappointed not to have seen Jalon de Dures, but injury, did you say, Ian, when I mentioned it a few weeks back?
I've not. I can probably find out and update everybody, but I can't say I've heard about any injuries and why he's not been out.
Someone said there was a setback, unless I've read it somewhere on Twitter.
The one that would interest me in is that Kopek de Board. I know he didn't jump particularly well on debut, but I mean, it's his first start at the hurdles. He's clearly got a massive engine because he lost a couple of lengths at every single hurdle and still powered through the race. So if they can brush up the jumping, a few people on Twitter have been made some comments about Patrick Mullins as well, because he rode it that day as well. So maybe a proper professional jockey and a bit more schooling will bring out some more improvement from him particularly with his jumping.
I don't think Willie does too much schooling, does he, before their debut?
No.
So they'll probably work on him now. I think they let them get on with it, and then if they need schooling, they'll school them afterwards. So, like you say, Alex, I'd rather take Kopek de Boards at 12s and Potter's Charm at 10s.
Yeah, 100%. Potter's Charm looks like a Bartlett for me, visually.
Yeah, I quite like both of them. I think those both need to be, if you're building a book, you need to get Potter's Charm and Kopek in, definitely 100%.
Shall we move on to the Brown Advisory Novice Chase?
Let's do it.
Here we go. So, top of the shop at the moment is Ballyburn, 7-2. Jukebox Man, who was very impressive, beating Highland is 5-1, 92 in some places. And we've got Dancing City, the Atlantique. Could he potentially go up to 3 mile? Impera Passe, I've heard, potentially could go 3 mile as well. Champ Kylie. Better Days Ahead, who was beaten by Croke Park recently, both 16-1. Lecky Watson, who won yesterday, 16-1. Anyone got any fancies or suggestions for this race so far?
Well,
Johnny.
the thing I'd like
Thanks.
to say is, if the Jukebox Man was with Willie Mullins, it'd be like 5-2 favourite or 2-1 favourite, and he's only 5-1 because he belongs to Pauling. So I'd have him clear favourite at this stage. I really would. He just looks the best, doesn't he, out of all of them that I've seen? So I thought he was fantastic that day at Kempton. Jumped well, good engine. It's just everything to like about him. He really impressed me. And I'm a huge fan of Ballyburn, and I've got him backed in this race at 33-1. But the Jukebox Man, I think, would beat him, to be perfectly honest, at this moment in time if they were racing today. Ballyburn's got a bit of work to do, and you're still not 100% sure whether he'd stay as well, aren't you, at this stage? That's why I don't understand the price. But yeah, that's my main takeout from this race at the moment.
Alex, you had your hand up as well?
Yeah, totally agree with Johnny. I'd look to take rather than the 5s Ante Post, I would take the 9-2. You don't lose very much. And as I said before in the Arkle thing, they have got in their mind to potentially go in there if it does come up really heavy. Some people have sort of crabbed the Jukebox Man's form, and they said he didn't really beat much last time, but Highland's rated in the high 140s. Masacho is beating 18 lengths, is 143. And then Welcome to Cartrees is mid 130s, and he was beating nearly 30 lengths. So, I mean, to me, the eye test, just the way he doesn't jump to me like a novice. He jumps like an experienced chaser. And yeah, that just really impressed me. So yeah, Jukebox Man for me, 9-2, non-runner, no bet. What's not to like, really?
Matty, was it you a fan of Better Days Ahead?
I was a fan of Better Days Ahead and Croke Park. I agree with what Johnny and Alex said about the Jukebox Man. But again, I know Alex has said 9-2 Ante Post. If Ballyburn does run, yeah, that's not bad. But it could go off similar price or bigger on the day. One I'll be keeping an eye on is my old favourite, Croke Park. But they didn't run him at Cheltenham last year in the end, did they?
No, but he was very good at leveling down over Christmas when he beat Better Days Ahead. I thought
I mean, he held on, did he, by a head, but he was clear, wasn't he, after the last? So those two would probably be the ones I'd be swaying towards at around 16s. But again, I'm not going to have an Ante Post. I'll wait and see if they're declared and what price they are on the day, because I can't see him dropping too much shorter than maybe get 10s on the day, maybe, if they run.
Anyone think Imperial Passe could come here? It's a tough one. They've said that potentially might, if it skips Cheltenham, might go to the 2.5 at Aintree, but
I think that's the route for him. I think this is this is just proof that it was stupid for them to get rid of that 2.5 mile novice race, because Ballyburn would be better suited to that. Imperial Passe being that as well. Those two against each other over 2.5 miles would have been a lot better than having some 2.5 mile handicap. Now, I don't disagree that the 2.5 mile handicap is back, because that was a really good race on the Tuesday when it used to be there, but they shouldn't have got rid of the 2.5 mile grade 1 novice race, in my opinion. Sorry, rant over.
No. Should we move on to the Queen Mum?
You got to start us off, Ian, as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it should go in the Arkle, but so here we go. Top of the market currently, John Bond, 2-1, 9-4 in places. Gaelic Warrior, who was beaten recently, 4-1. Energumene, who won recently, it's come back 5-1. Il Fabiolo, 8-1, 12-1 in places, still not been seen this season, but has got entries at the festival. And then you've got Il Francais, who was second in the, and he said the King Arthur, the King George. Marine Nationale, the old favourite. Solness, who who won recently and got Banbridge. Anybody got an opinion?
My opinion is most of the horse in this race are crap.
Oh, wow.
And they all just beat each other.
Yeah.
If you put a gun to my head, Ian, and told me to back one at this stage, I'd probably put the money on Energumene.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an MV at John Bonnet Ascot on the weekend.
They are, yeah, in the
Clarence House.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm really keen to see that.
Yeah, that's one race I will.
Just seems to throw up some. It's not shocks, but it just seems to. It doesn't always go to plan. So we had El Fabiolo was the favourite last year and pulled up, and Marine Nationale was supposed to be in there and then didn't run that well at the DRF. And you've had Altion, Chacun Poursoir in the past, didn't run, and who was the JP horse? Oh God, I can't think. And he did. Barry Geraghty was on. It was odds on and didn't run that well.
Cheffy.
If you just saw, yeah,
That's it, and didn't run it. This race just doesn't seem to go to plan for whatever reason. Just not shocks, but just I don't know. I can't describe it. It just doesn't seem to.
Well, if you look, isn't it something like
So hard.
8 out of the last 10 odds on favourites have been beaten or something daft like that. There's a ridiculous stat.
you get a lot of good stories in this race, don't you? Like horses coming back from things, or like a horse that keeps being second in the race and finally winning or something.
Yeah.
So you might get a Marine Nationale popping up because obviously he's had his troubles, hasn't he? But yeah, I if you
Should be in the county hurdle.
And you had Solness as 25-1 who won that race recently and beat Gaelic Warrior. Was it Gaelic Warrior beat him?
Yeah.
Now could be a prize.
You just can't trust any of them. It's like the Ryanair field. They all just keep beating each other. It's just whose turn is it today?
I mean, if Captain Guinness can win this, then anything can win it, can't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
He's 50-1.
Yeah, it's one of those races, isn't it? I mean, looking at those prices there now, if I was going to have one at a stab at a punt at something bigger, I'd probably have a small, very small each way on Quilixios.
I was just looking at it.
Yeah, 40-1, Matty.
Yeah. No, he was beat by John Bon last time out quite comfortably, wasn't he? But it's just one of those races, isn't it?
It never goes to plan. That's probably the best way I could describe it.
No, it doesn't.
Other than that, I think Alex and Johnny hit the nail on the head with an Ergamine at 5-1.
He's still one of my favourites. I've always been a fan of him.
Especially if the rain comes.
Do you think you could potentially beat Gaelic Warrior at the DRF? If you go, oh no, he won't go. We just said, didn't we? Clarence South, sorry. Elsa.
He just looks the most solid in that race to me. I'm not saying he's got the highest ceiling of all these, but he's the one that I think is probably the most reliable at this stage, even though he's been off for a while and had his own troubles.
A lot will depend on how he runs on the weekend, won't it? But
yeah,
whether you want to take a punt now, because if he goes in absolutely hoses up on the weekend and you want to take a punt before he runs, you could be looking at sitting. You could either be sitting on very, very nice slip, couldn't you, or egg on your face.
I mean, he's still got the biggest, highest official rating.
What's his rating in the minute, Johnny?
176. El Fabiolo 175. Second. So going on that, he's still really the one to beat, isn't he? As long as he shows his fitness, and we'll see at the weekend, won't we? If he wins out the weekend, he won't be 5-1, will he?
He'll go 5. No. All right. Anybody got anything else to discuss for the Champion Chase? Should we discuss the bumper or should we move past?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
I'm not ready for the bumper.
Okay, so in that case, we'll go with a Ryanair. I think it's the next one. At the moment, the favourite is Back to File, where he goes here, company 4-1, 6-4. No run, no bet. It's quite short. So then you got Banbridge, 5-1. Spillane's Tower, who was well beaten in the King George, 6-1. Gaelic Warrior, not sure if he'll go here. 5-17 places. Again, El Fabiolo, Il Francais, Energamine. So it seems to be all the same horses. Grey Dawning, I'm not sure if he'll go here. Currently 14-1. Jello and Jungle Boogie, 20-1. Anybody got any suggestions this early for the Ryanair? Could factor 5.
I'd be sending Banbridge here.
If the ground suits, he'd win, I think.
Yeah.
I'd have no hesitation on lumping on him if it was good to soft at worst.
Do you not think he'll have a crack at the Gold Cup?
I don't know. I remember reading something ages ago. Didn't whoever win the King George or running the King George have a good record of going in the Ryanair and winning? I don't know if it's the winners of the King George. I can't remember. I remember reading something like runners in the King George running really well, winning the Ryanair. And
in recent years, it's been, I'll say, failed Gold Cup horses that potentially run in the Gold Cup and not quite done it and then dropped down in trip. We've had I thought Long Press could be the the one that could potentially come into this race, but was not entered, only entered in the Gold Cup, which was I thought was a bit of a shame. But yeah,
I mean, looking at prices, I mean, obviously loves the course is M4LN at 25-1 still. You know, he's won the race. He's finished second in it. He comes alive at Cheltenham, bar that one disaster he had, really. But he always runs his race there, doesn't he? He gives everything, you know. So him at the prices is still a good each way bet, I think. But is he going to change from now till then? Probably not too much.
I think Factor File will come in.
I don't know. I really don't. I would like him to have a crack at the Gold Cup, but after he was well beaten by Galloping at Christmas, I wonder if he'll come here. But will he? I don't know if JP will send both Spillans and Factor here. I think he'll do one or the other. I wonder if Spillans Tower might not come to the festival.
I was just wondering in case they think about minding Factor File to have a go at the Gold Cup once Galloping's not there, maybe the year after, because Galloping was very, very impressive at Christmas.
Yeah, potentially good run here and maybe win here, and then, as you say, then go up to the Gold Cup next year. Did you say he's 7 or 8 at the minute, Alex? Didn't we have in a recent video you said he was older than we thought?
Yeah, there's only a year between Galloping and Factor File. I think Galloping's now 9. And Factor File's 8, or it might be
File's 8,
yeah.
So do you think that's not quite old to go for a Gold Cup first time out at 9? Might not be, but
don't know.
Yeah, just a thought.
Probably.
Last year's winner's 25-1 again as well.
I think you've got to put a horse in the race that you think they're most likely to win, and I think he's significantly more likely to win a Ryanair than a Gold Cup. So that's the race I'd put him in personally. Factor File. I know he's won once over 3 miles in the Brown last year, but he didn't win by that far. I think he's better over 2.5 personally. I mean, he beat Galloping over 2.5, and then he lost him over 3. So does that tell you everything you need to know?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And Willie wants to win every race, doesn't he? So this might be his best chance in this race.
I don't know if the plan's for him to go here, but if I was going to back anything for this race, I'd go for Hartwood. I think Henry de Bromhead's a very good target trainer. He was 4th in that Grade 1 over Christmas with Galloping over 3 miles, and probably showed that he doesn't quite stay 3, but he stays on strongly over 2.5. Means the price of 25-1. A lot of these horses have got a lot of miles on the clock. He's a 7-year-old and he's not had that many races, so that'll be where my money would go at this point.
Johnny, Matty, anything else before we move on?
Yeah, I'd be, and I'm very tempted at the moment to have a little dabble on Springwell Bay at 50-1. I was thinking maybe they were going to go handicap route, but he's up to 154 now, so I think that's out the window. And I can't see him going the Browns. I think he's run mainly over this trip this season, hasn't he? 1 run over 3 mile. And got beat by Highland. I think 50-1 with obviously question marks over a couple of the ones higher at the market, whether they'll go there. That could be a good each way shout.
That could be a cracking shout there, Matty.
He runs the course well.
Shall we move on to the Stayers Hurdle?
Yep.
Here we go. So no surprise, Tehupu is the favourite. 5-4, 11-8, 6-4 in places. Played by the lead, who I believe was a winner over Christmas. 7-1, can get as big as 10s. Ali Byrne, not sure if he'll come here. Salva, 14-1. Lossimal, I'm not too sure. And then we get into the bigger prizes up Corbett's Cross. Alex's favourite Crambo, 16-1. Lucky place for Mr. Henderson, can get as big as 16s. I am Maximus. Anybody got any thoughts on the Stayers Hurdle?
I've got no interest in this race, Ian, at this stage at all. So I'm ruling myself out of discussing this race.
Ian, Langley Dam's just going to win, isn't he? He is. He's just going to rock her with no form at all, and he's going to piss it. If you look at the ratings, he's only £4 lower than Tehupu. He obviously comes well in the spring, as they keep saying.
He does, yeah.
He's just going to win, and and everyone's going to be laughing about it, saying, "Oh, how's he won that now?" And they're going to be laughing their heads off back at everyone. And yeah, I would just.
Jamie Renner be fuming.
Yeah, I've backed him already at 50s, I think.
50s.
Yeah, I think he's 25s now. I did him straight away after last year because I thought then that's the end of his handicap career now, isn't it? He's got to go in this. He's just going to win. I really think he'll win. I do. Jamie will be absolutely fuming. Yeah.
Matty,
I'd like to see Ballyburn in this because I think he's a better hurdler than a chaser. I think he'd absolutely mop this up. But yeah,
not really. No, the only one I don't think the price will be that much different come March is the Wall Park, maybe an each way price of around 20s. No, I'm similar to Alex. Not really got any interest in this. And on the day, you just have a punt on whatever you want to have a bash on.
Okay. Should we move on to the Triumph Hurdle? I've got is the next one.
Correct.
This could be. I think I've only seen a couple that have caught my eye in the Triumph so far, but I think there's a talking horse in a minute that's the favourite is the Lambo with Mr. Henderson, 4-1.
Absolutely smashed.
East India Dock 13-2. Hello Neighbour 7-1. Lady Vega Allen 10s. Saint Lucy 12s and 10s. Palladium is another Henderson one that again is yet to come out, 16s and 20s. Anybody got any idea yet for the Triumph Hurdle? So with a lot of leads still yet to come out.
I mean, if it was run today, it'd be just East India Dock for me. It's one good piece of form that I've seen. That St. Lucy was decent as well, actually, to be fair, of Mullins. But this New Lambo, you can't back it at 4-1, can you? We just don't know what to expect. It might be it might be Sergino Mark II, who knows? But I'd rather take East India Dock at 13-2. I was really impressed with him. And, like we discussed on previous videos, his form been pretty decent, isn't it? So his flat form was good, and yeah, I just think he's one for your multis, like definitely each way multis. Can't see him out the frame.
Well, you look here, Willie De Hoy was again another talking horse that was mega short, and now look at he's 50-1.
Yeah,
after some poor performances.
And that
Alex,
Lavender Hill Mob was a talking horse as well, and that's 66-1.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to go with your eyes, haven't you? And East India Dock, I think, just looked the best so far. And until we see this Lulamba,
which I believe is running at Ascot, and you'll be there, Alex, aren't you, for the at the weekend?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there on Saturday with Coral. Coral Racing Club. got won a nice prize with them.
Again.
Alex or Matty, any thoughts at early stage for the Triumph Hurdle?
Nope.
Okay, I've got one I quite like at quite a big price. I think he's 50-1. Zainab. If you keep scrolling. There we go. Zainab.
Elliot.
Yeah, Gordon Elliott's one of the Bective horses. Yeah. He's had one run over hurdle so far in September when he beat Terra Firma, who's then won three times since, including winning at Cheltenham in December. He looked pretty good that day as well. I see he's entered as well in the Grade 1 juvenile at the DRF. So clearly they hold him quite high regard. I've just got a feeling he could be quite good. So bit of a dark horse for me. I've not really got any interest in the ones at the top market other than East India Dock. And I've not got a good enough price ticket that like some others have on him. So I'm going to resist the urge to back him now at 6s.
Also, it's one on heavy and good, that Zainab, on the flat. So handles different grounds.
Yeah, I just think he'd be quite good. I think, like I said, beating that Terra Firma, who was very good at Cheltenham. He's won he's won 3 times over hurdles. The only time he didn't win was when he was second to Zainab. So yeah, I'm happy to take a chance on him.
I mean, he was only a few pounds lower than East India Dock on the flat. Like,
I don't know about flat form, so I'll take your word for it, Johnny.
It's just that East India Dock won a Class 2 on the flat, which just keeps sticking out with me. It was a good race at Goodwood. They don't have crap Class 2s there at Goodwood. I just
No.
think, and he jumps well. Then he jumped superbly, which is always the worry with a flat horse. But yeah, I just
The other
think,
thing I like that Zainab, you've got the £7 mare's allowance as well. So
yeah.
Oh,
I think that's a very valuable £7.
Matty, shall we move on?
Yeah, I got no fucking interest in it.
So happy.
He's happy. Will you be?
It's pointless me talking about something. I've got nothing to say, is it?
No, that's fine. That's fine. 2 left. So we've got the. We'll go to the Bartlett next.
I've got nothing on this before we start. It's a race that I'll leave till the day, and unless the yellow clay runs.
So we'll go through the betting just quickly. We said you've got the yellow clay, 8-1 in a lot of the places. Final demand. It looks like again. We said it seems to be backed for this race. 8s, 10s in places. The big Westerner, I believe, was a recent winner. 10s and 9s and 8s in some places. 12-1 then with Ladbrokes. Jet Blue as big as 20-1. Cocktail Divine 25-1. Super Sunday, I think, around as well recently over Christmas, as big as 25-1. So Johnny hasn't got any discussion. Alex or Matty, have you got anything to discuss for this race at an early stage?
Yeah, just that Cocktail Dive-In, who I quite fancy. I think, like I said in one of the previous races we were talking about, I think he'll end up in that race at Clonmel that Henry normally uses for his Bartlett types. And then once if he's been entered in that, then I'll probably have another couple of quid on him as well, because that's another good pointer. But yeah, that'll be my fancy at this stage.
Matty, anything caught your eye?
No, just similar to that Cocktail Divin. I'll see which race he goes in, and I'll have a play.
I'm still of the opinion. I've got my eye on the big Westerner, one recently at Limerick. I think it was over 2 miles 7. Won by 4.5 lengths. That was that quite impressed me. He would potentially be he or she. I'm not sure if it's a male. I think it's a he that will go here at the moment. I would like the yellow clay to come here, 8-1, but I don't know. Just connections seem to think the 2.5 race could be the one. So last but no means least, let's move on to the Gold Cup. With the betting, Galopin de Champ, even money, 11-10 with Ladbrokes. And then we've got Fat to Far. Will it go here? 4s, 92 in places. Then we go double digits for the rest. Jerry Colomb, 12s. Banbridge, the King George winner, 14s, 16s in places. Corbett's Cross, Monty Star, Grey Dawning, who's been beaten twice recently. Non Press 25s, Ile Francais, who was second in the King George, 25s. Embassy Gardens, a recent winner at 33-1. Does anything beat Galopin de Champ, gentlemen?
You should have just stopped at Galopin de Champs, mate.
Yeah. No.
So nothing beats it.
No, not for me.
Not after the way he performed at Christmas.
That was outstanding.
He's proved that he's still got it, Annie, and it was with he's going to take something special to beat him.
Does he do it again at the DRF? Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite, yeah. You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I think Gallopin will win, and then I quite fancy Monty Star.
No way! I was going to say the same, Alex.
Were you?
Yeah, to follow him home.
Yeah, I think some people have been crabbing him because he obviously was beaten on New Year's Day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But then if you look at Henry's last 2 Gold Cup winners, Aplutar and Minella Indo, they were both beaten prior to going to the Gold Cup that year as well. So as I said before, he's a really good target trainer. He'll get him 100% for the day.
Yeah.
I think he'll appreciate the extra couple of furlongs.
Yeah, exactly the same.
That he got, that he'll get in this versus what he had in the Browns. So yeah, that'd be my
totally.
Okay,
totally agree. He'll follow him home. Probably about.
And maybe win it next year. Who knows?
Shall we finish it there, gents?
Yes. There's no others, is there?
Okay, right. So that's the first of our group videos for the Cheltenham Ante Post with the Grade 1 races. So we'll possibly do another 2 or 3. Maybe we'll do the Chase and some of the other chases, and we'll discuss the bumper when we later in the time when a lot of the others have come out. Thank you, gents. Anything else to add before we move on?
No,
No.
all good.
Thanks for having me back on, and I'll see you all again in a year.
We'll see you soon. But no, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment if you any fancies, any bets, early bets that you've done. Let us know the prices and the races that you've done so far. Again, thank you very much to Connor and the boys for racing pins and for your support. And we'll catch you up soon. We've got a couple of previews coming up. With the Cheltenham one will be next week, and the DRF the week after. So it's only going to get busy for us at the Cheltenham Exchange. Thank you, everyone, for watching. See you soon.